Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for I like that.
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet.
The whole Diddy situation just keeps getting crazier by the day. It's clear that the scandal isn't going away anytime soon, and now it looks like some of his gangster buddies are supposedly stepping forward to admit they've had secret affairs with him. Rumor has it they're coming out with these stories to create a bit of a distraction. Big names like Cat Williams, Usher, and even Ludacris have all allegedly shared some juicy details about their connections with him.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party.
So enough of the buildup. Let's dive right into it. Well, it looks like Cat Williams is just at it again. We would remember that Cat had publicly come out to talk about his encounters with Diddy. He particularly mentioned that the only way to avoid Diddy was by turning down his parties. But it seemed like someone else was going to catch this fire as Cat instead stirred the pot with some serious claims about Ludacris, stating that Luda has attended these parties. Not just that. He went on to claim that Ludacris had affairs with some big names in the industry and he would not hold back on exposing it all. During his viral chat on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, Cat accused Ludacris of engaging in gay for pay, and even suggested that he sold his soul to the Illuminati, which definitely raised a few eyebrows. So this whole drama kicked off earlier this month on Shannon's podcast when they were talking about Cat's beef with other comedians. Shannon threw him a curveball by asking if he and Ludacris were related, and that's when Cat went all in, launching a verbal storm about how Ludacris allegedly showed up at an Illuminati party. He was dead serious, claiming that Luda got wrapped up with the Illuminati and tied it all to his massive deal for the Fast and Furious movies, suggesting he sold his soul for a staggering $200 million. Talk about some jaw-dropping accusations.
To an Illuminati thing. And it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair, and the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris.
Ludacris clearly felt the heat because this forced him out of his years-long hiding. In an attempt to debunk Cat's claims, he released a freestyle.
Whatever's heavy on my heart is always on my mind. Like Snoop's cannabis shredder, I'm always on my grind. They throwing shade because could never take my shine. I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time.
But it looks like many fans weren't buying what he was selling. Instead, they rallied behind Cat on social media, with one user commenting, "You came out of retirement over a comedian? Yeah, Cat was telling the truth." Another added, "Cat. To Luda, 0. Just reminded everyone that for him, it's all about materialism and getting to the top by any means necessary, ergo, no standard." Meanwhile, Cat's fairness and hustle make his success much more valuable, epic, and inspiring. It just seemed like Cat was just waiting for the opportunity to square off with Ludacris, and then there he was, even threatening to release more wild claims about Luda's supposed affairs. Well, this got heads spinning considering that everyone is still trying to grapple with the whole Diddy scandals flying around. Well, this next rapper seems to be one of Diddy's closest associates, and it is none other than Usher. In a 2004 chat with Rolling Stone, Usher opened up about how Diddy introduced him to some pretty wild aspects of the industry, mentioning that the party scene was filled with all kinds of craziness.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried.
He said, "Stuff is so hot in the industry, man. There were always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having a you never knew what was going to happen." The rumors about Diddy and Usher have been circulating for years, and even Kim Porter's former stylist added fuel to the fire by claiming that Diddy had slept with various men on multiple occasions. The stylist went on to say that Usher's mom confronted Diddy after finding out about his alleged intimacy with Usher, and she claimed that Kim Porter had a video of everything that went down before she passed away. Usher himself acknowledged that he saw things he probably shouldn't have at a young age while he was still under Diddy's mentorship.
I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? There were a lot of things I seen
During his interview with Stern, the topic came up about whether he would let his own kid attend a camp run by Puffy. Without skipping a beat, Usher responded, "Hell no." That really says a lot about what he thinks of those experiences. Also, there's an old video of Justin Bieber and Diddy that's making the rounds on social media just again, and it's definitely raising some eyebrows. This clip is from 2021 and has gone viral mostly because people are speculating that there's something a little off about their interaction. In the video, Justin and Diddy share a hug, but you can't really hear what they're saying. Diddy is wearing a pink House of Drew hoodie and black pants, while Justin is dressed in a black shirt and striped shorts. After they hug, Diddy starts tapping Justin's chest with one hand while his other hand rests on Justin's upper arm. Then things get a bit strange when Diddy slaps the other side of Justin's chest and leaves his palm there for a moment. They go in for another hug, and you can see Diddy whisper something in Justin's ear. After that, Diddy heads back to his golf cart and Justin jumps into a black vehicle, but not before saying, "Love you." The first time this video blew up was after Diddy's LA and Miami homes were raided by the Department of Homeland Security in March during a federal investigation. Since then, the clip has stirred up quite a bit of discussion, and people are coming up with theories about why Diddy was patting Justin down like that. A lot of folks in the comments seem to think Diddy was checking for a wire. One user on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "Yeah, he was checking for a wire because he was patting his shirt, so yeah, Diddy was checking if Justin was an FBI informant." Another chimed in with, "That is straight up mafia-style training. Act like you're being friendly, but safety first. Trust me, I'm from Youngstown." Someone else added, "Thief's habit, always worried about being caught." And that's not the only video of Justin and Diddy that's grabbing attention. There's another one from 2009 titled "Justin Bieber's 48 Hours with Diddy." In this clip, Justin was just 15, while Diddy was 40. Diddy looks straight at the camera and says, "Where we're hanging out and what we're doing we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream." Followed by, "For the next 48 hours, he's with me, and we're gonna go full crazy." They've collaborated in the past, and Diddy even acted as a mentor for Bieber back in the day, just like Usher. But now, some people are giving that whole situation a side-eye, especially after revisiting some of the things Usher has said in past interviews about his experiences with Diddy. Another rapper who has been caught between this whole scandal is Rick Ross. Rick Ross has been making headlines lately, mainly because his neighbors are fed up with his wild parties. Apparently, words are that he's drawing some inspiration from Diddy, and things are just heating up. Residents in Ross's Fayetteville neighborhood have filed multiple complaints with the Fayette County Board of Commissioners, voicing concerns about the massive traffic jams these events are causing, with over 6,000 fans expected to show up. On top of that, they remember the noise levels from a similar event at Ross's mansion last year that left them with serious headaches. But it seems there's more going on here than just rowdy gatherings. Rumors are swirling that Ross's parties are a little too fabulous for the more conservative vibe of his neighborhood, with whispers suggesting that there's a hint of something gay in the air, especially since he's been partying with none other than the king of extravagance, Diddy. You know, the guy who can turn any get-together into a headline-making bash. One can only imagine the kind of mischief these two get up to when they hit the town together. Some people have pointed out that this is all part of Rick Ross's hustle, claiming, "This is how Rick Ross makes his money. If you don't know, P. Diddy, a gay gatekeeper in the music industry. But he wants to make fun of crypto investors while doing gay S-word with Puffy." Ross's mansion has turned into a fortress of decadence, a playground for A-list celebrities to indulge in their wildest fantasies, creating a spectacle that both mesmerizes and scandalizes anyone lucky or unlucky enough to witness it. However, recent events have cast a shadow over the festivities, especially after a firearm incident at one of Diddy's own parties. Security has been ramped up with metal detectors and shuttle buses to make sure only the creme de la creme gets in. Meanwhile, chaos reigns back in Ross's neck of the woods as neighbors recount the nightmare of previous parties. It's not surprising they feel this way, considering Diddy's parties are known for being completely bonkers. Yet, what's added another layer to the conversation is Ross's recent show of support for the LGBTQ community. In an interview with Funky Geneva, he encouraged gay rappers to chase their dreams wholeheartedly. As this news spread like wildfire, many are left wondering if there's any truth to the rumors that Rick Ross himself might be gay.
I feel your personal life is your personal life.
Yeah.
And I feel, in my personal life, You do whatever you do.
Yeah.
And that's your business.
Well, 50 Cent is not left out in all of this. He has definitely been here before, especially when he posted some eyebrow-raising pictures on Instagram that suggested Diddy and Rick Ross might be sharing more than just a buddy-buddy vibe. One snapshot showed them on stage together at a certain angle that made it look like they were about to kiss, which definitely raised some eyebrows. Then there was another photo of Diddy rocking a pink shirt while hugging record executive Steve Stout, who was also dressed in pink. That post caused quite a stir, and 50 Cent ended up having to quickly delete them from his feed. And let's not forget that 50 Cent has had his fair share of speculation about Diddy's sexuality in past interviews. He once humorously recounted a story about how Diddy invited him out for a shopping spree, which just added even more fuel to the rumor mill. And they're back and forth between both rappers on The Breakfast Club.
He said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something.
50 Cent admitted that the whole situation was weird, but on the contrary, Diddy had something else to say about the incident. Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What, I'm a nice guy. I don't have no beef with 50. He loves me. He loves me.
I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Yo, why are you and Fifth just...
Hey, yo.
Why y'all not...
Hey, yo, I don't have no beef with Fifth. He loves me. He loves me.
Do y'all really
can't
have
see
a
it?
beef?
I mean, y'all can't see it.
No, we can't see it.
Y'all can't see that he loves me?
But see...
You really, hold on, you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time. You know he loves me.
I don't think he like it.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he...
Well, you can only imagine how those comments might have stirred up more chatter about Diddy's relationships in the industry. So it turns out there are way more direct accusations floating around. One that's really turning heads is this audio recording that's been going viral, supposedly featuring Diddy and Meek Mill in a pretty intimate moment. In the clip, you can definitely hear some suggestive noises, and at one point, one of them actually calls the other daddy. The whole thing was leaked by someone claiming to be Diddy's ex-bodyguard who says he caught it all on his phone. According to this guy, the recording captures two men in a compromising situation, and he insists that the drinks that night were all spiked. He claims he stayed sober while everyone else was out of it, just pretending to be drunk to blend in. As the story goes, while the others were passed out, Diddy and that man, who he insists is Meek Mill, snuck away to another room. That's when he started recording because he figured he could make a couple $100s off of it. At first, people didn't believe the audio was legit, but now he says there's proof backing it up. It's wild how fast rumors spread, and this one's definitely catching a lot of attention. Everyone's just waiting to see how this will all unfold. Turns out, this alleged recording isn't the only eyebrow-raising story circulating about Diddy's friends and their parties. So one drug dealer was completely taken aback after he stumbled upon some big-name celebs getting cozy with each other at one of these gatherings. According to him, Diddy welcomed him at the door of his Hamptons mansion dressed only in a robe, and then led him to a back bedroom to discuss a coke deal. That's when things took a really strange turn. Weird tea was starting to happen. Celebrity guys fucking each other. There were back bedrooms, and it was like the inner sanctum, the dealer told the Post. He recounted that the most jaw-dropping moment was witnessing two rappers, who he wouldn't name, hooking up right in front of him. He said, "I immediately lost respect for them and couldn't take them seriously ever again." Apparently, the party was a chaotic mix of female rappers, S-workers, and folks who were already tripping on ketamine and GHB, making the whole scene even crazier. Diddy's 500 square foot mansion in East Hampton has quite the reputation for hosting these kinds of parties, including his famous annual white parties that attract some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, and Jay-Z. It seems like every time you turn around, there's another unbelievable story about what goes down at these events, leaving everyone wondering just what else might be happening behind closed doors. So it looks like many rappers who have been wrongly accused of having gay affairs are beginning to speak up. Take Fabulous, for instance. He has been to his fair share of parties over the years, but it seems like he's starting to think that not all of them lived up to the hype. The Brooklyn rapper recently hopped on his Instagram story to share some hilarious moments about bailing on his celebrity friends at their events. Sometimes you just gotta make a sneaky exit when things get too wild. And according to Fab, that's exactly what he did. It all kicked off when he asked his fans if they've ever felt that pressure to stick around for an after party when all you really want to do is head home or back to your hotel, but you don't want to be the one who ruins the fun. He posted, "You ever got peer pressured into going to the afties? You really want to go home or back to the room, but you don't want to be the turn down to the turn up." This gave fans things to talk about for a while, with many wondering if these parties he was mentioning were Diddy's.
Mr. Lee,
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
It's
scrambling
right
and
here.
scraping for
I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
He went on to throw out a funny follow-up question. One more question, you ever said you were going to the bathroom and then just left? As fans mulled over his questions, Fabulous couldn't resist sharing a comical story about his time with Diddy, who definitely knows how to keep the party going well into the early hours. "I told Diddy I was going to the bathroom and slid out," he laughed. "It was 7 a.m. and this dude was still turned." Given Diddy's legendary party lifestyle, it's no surprise Fab wanted to sneak out and call it a night. He also recounted another late-night adventure where Mariah Carey kept him up drinking wine after he recorded a verse. "I told Mariah I was going to move my car because it might get towed. And scrr," he said. "It was 6 a.m., my verse was done, and we were just chilling, drinking wine and swapping stories." It's clear that Fabulous has had his fair share of late nights that turned into epic early mornings. And sometimes, you just gotta make that exit before the night spirals out of control. Another rapper that everyone seems to be talking about is Exhibit, because he made some jaw-dropping revelations about Diddy's alleged fondness for gay clubs. According to Exhibit, Diddy loves it and often hits up these spots with his crew, leaving fans scratching their heads and wondering what else might be going on behind the scenes with the music mogul.
We got invited to a Puffy party, the New Year's Eve party. Went to the party. You know,
all dudes.
During a recent chat on Sirius's Foxhole Radio, Exhibit recalled an especially awkward New Year's Eve in Miami that turned into quite the unexpected adventure. He found himself at a party with Diddy and video vixen Karine Superhead Steffens, and it all started off pretty normal at a house party where he was just hanging out with Superhead, but apparently that didn't sit well with Diddy. And before Exhibit knew it, Diddy was rounding everyone up to hop into a car for a super quiet drive to a club.
Puffy calls me outside. He's like, "Hey man, you know that girl you know about the girl you." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, everybody know, but you know what I'm saying? What's happening?" You know, he's like, "That's the devil, man."
Once they arrived, things got really strange. We walk into this club through the back entrance and it's the VIP lounge. There's nobody in there, but the rest of the club is packed and jumping, and I'm just sitting there with Superhead, Exhibit remembered. Diddy eventually slipped away to handle his business, leaving X and Superhead to grab some drinks, which is when everything took a bizarre turn. Superhead pointed to a corner, and to Exhibit's surprise, he spotted two guys making out. And that was just the beginning. She pointed again, and he couldn't believe his eyes. There was another guy dancing completely naked. Feeling totally out of place, Exhibit didn't want to stick around any longer. He made a quick exit without even saying goodbye. Later reflecting, "We bounced out of there real quick. I didn't even say peace to anybody. It was just too suspect." He shrugged it off saying, "You can chalk it up to being in Miami or whatever, but I've been to tons of clubs, and I've never accidentally walked into a place with that kind of vibe." There it is. It seems like this wild night definitely left an impression on him, and it's no wonder everyone is buzzing about what he had to say. Another person who spilled quite a bit of tea about Diddy is his former bodyguard, Gene Deal. He's shared some pretty wild stories from his time working for Diddy, and one of the most shocking tales involves a moment when he saw Diddy and a well-known rapper, who he didn't name, sprint out of a hotel room completely naked while he was stationed at the door. Can you imagine the scene? But that's not all. Gene also recounted a trip to the supermarket where Diddy picked up some pretty risque items, like butt plugs right off the shelves. According to Gene, Diddy just handed the cashier a stack of cash and casually walked out with the toys, like it was no big deal. These stories definitely paint a picture of a very unconventional lifestyle and have kept people talking about Diddy and the antics that go on behind closed doors. Then we have Jaguar Wright, who has been on Diddy's neck for quite some time. She made some accusations about a lawyer friend who met Diddy and someone in a compromising situation. Well, that person turned out to be Christopher Williams. Wright gave an insight as to what the lady had seen, and she claimed the lawyer walked in, saw Christopher Williams performing a mouth job on Puff. These whole wild happenings have got fans riling. I mean, you cannot be too sure who could be gay in the industry. Many people suggest that this secrecy happening in the industry could just be as a result of its stiffness. There you have it. Thank you for subscribing.